Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Swami, I've heard that this attachment, moham, is not a good thing. We need to overcome that. Why do you want to get back and trap me in that again? I'm not interested in that, Swami. Please tell me what I should do. I have only so much time, and what's the thing I'm supposed to do? Please educate me on that. Please guide me, teach me on that. And then Sukha Muni said, he caressed him. Sukha said, you are a very good person. No wonder people love you so much. Okay, otherwise these rishis and all, you think they will give up? You think, okay, the mic on? Mic is on. So is the mic is on? Okay. So, can you hear me now? Okay, very easy. So, so you think otherwise these rishis would give up their penance and spiritual disciplines and all that, and you think they'll come here? No, you're very fortunate, you're very lucky, you're such a good person. Swami, all that is due to grace of Krishna only and the blessings of my grandfathers. But tell me what I should do. And please. Then you told me, you said that you will teach us the Bhagavata Tattva. I'm dying to hear it. Then he said, yes. In the depths of that jungle forest, yes, I learned that from my father. Now, it's interesting. I just want to stop for a second because he says, my father. Okay? And there could be some confusion that Sukha Muni, so he also said, my father, so he also has body consciousness. He also has this. So I want to dispel that straight away. Because I heard that when somebody speak, I said that's not correct. Okay. So he says my father, when Rama goes to and meets Sabri, and Sabri asks them, Rama and Lakshmana, so who are you? Then he says, this is my brother Lakshmana. He says, my brother Lakshmana. So what is Rama has body consciousness? No. The way we have to look at that, he's explaining, even Bhagavan says, this is my body, and says, yes, I am so and so. He's not attached to the body. Sukha Muni were by any stretch of imagination, no. Right from birth, he had no feeling of separation, no dvaitam, advaitic state. So please understand it, and everything and everything else Sukha Muni says and that you read, understand it from that perspective. We should not put our limited understanding on him. So when he said, my father, he was not talking about a body consciousness. Yes, Vyasa was his father for that body. That's all. There's no more. That does not mean he is attached to the body. Okay? So let's move on. So I heard from my father, and actually, even though he was, Parikshit also asked the same question. But Swami, how come, right from birth you are always in Parabrahman? You are a Brahman, you are always in Brahman, you are always in the feeling of oneness, always immersed with love, not separated from it. So what attracted you to it? What made you go there and sit and there at the end and listen to it? He said, yes, what you say about me is true, King, very true. I am beyond prescriptions and prohibitions, he says. What a beautiful word. I am beyond prescriptions and prohibitions. Yes, that is true. Yes, it's also true. Very difficult to see me because I am generally unseen, moving about. But that day, when the nectarine sweetness of Bhagavan's glories are being recited, I could not stay away. I listened to it. I exulted like a madman. Unmattam, Narada says, how gopis were. We can't judge them by our standards of behavior and unlimited understanding. See, when you are immersed with Rasa Leela, which we are going to talk about with Swami's grace today a little bit, The experience of love, selfless love, is exhilarating beyond that. So I danced like a madman. And then today I heard that there are people assembled here who deserve to hear this. So I came here. Then, if you listen to those who listen to this, who have a yearning, bubbling yearning for Bhagavan in their heart, and faith, unshakable faith in what they hear, and they listen to it with joy, they reach Paratattvam, they reach the lotus feet. There is no doubt about it. No doubt about it. If you imbibe the teachings of what Bhagavata Tattva says, and those people who imbibe and who practice it, guaranteed that they will merge with the Krishna Rasa. And King, don't worry. It doesn't take much time. Not much time is needed. It can happen in a trice. To win Bhagavan's grace can happen in the wink of an eye. Not even that time. Just like that it can happen. But you must have faith in what you hear. Because that faith only and that faith alone will give you the jnana. O King, there are many people who talk about Bhagavatam, who do pravachanam, who exhort how great Bhagavatam is and all that, but they don't have an iota of anubhavam. So, all their exhortations, how effective will it be? It is like pouring ghee, not on fire, but on mound of ashes. That's all the effect will be. But, King, you are not like that. You yearn for Krishna. You love Krishna with the depth of your heart. And all the people present here. So this moment is most opportune. This text is most apt. And the listener is the most apt. How fortunate it is. The text, the listener, and the moment, everything has come together so beautifully. How fortunate you are. Then he caressed him, with curly hair, he caressed him. How fortunate you are on his cheeks. And King said, Swami, I am dying to hear. Yes, Swami, but I have only very limited time left. Please tell me the Bhagavata Tattva, Swami. What should I do? King, don't worry. Don't worry. It doesn't take much time. Repeats again, to earn Bhagavan's grace. First, give up this feeling of I and my. Ahamkaram and mamakaram. That is what we are struggling. How to do that? I'll make a digression now and then continue with Sukha Muni, because it's a beautiful thing he says. But how to do that? Because a struggle we all have. We want to do it, but we can't do it. So we have to reduce our desires. Right? That also we find, if we can practice that and habitually we can get it. It's not difficult. Reducing desires is not difficult, very easy. But the easiest way to give up the I and the my is listen to the glories and stories of Bhagavan. That is why Bhagavatam is a panacea. Yes, Bhagavad Gita gives the highest wisdom, but you have to think, you have to understand, then you have to practice it. Whereas Bhagavatam, time you hear it, all you need focus and attention and that yearning to hear it. My God, the miracle takes place by itself. That is why Bhagavatam is a panacea. The only medicine, the most supreme thing. That's why Sukha Muni says there is no higher discipline than this. There is no higher spiritual activity than this. There is no higher activity than this. This is the supreme. Simple. Listen to the stories and glories of Bhagavan. And listen to it more and more and more and more. The transformation takes place by itself. So Sukha says, give up the I and the my. And it doesn't take much time. In fact, I will tell you a story of one Raja Rishi who in a Chanam attained moksham, he says. This Katvanga was there, a great king in the lineage of Rama, Raghuvamsa, the Solar dynasty. And such a powerful king he was, and dharmic, and taking care of everything was perfect, like a way Parikshit was, right? And because he was so powerful and valorous and all, so Devas, once they sought his help in fighting the Asuras, the Danavas. Danava means what? Danava. One who does not do Danam is a Danava. Simple. The Danava looks like you and me, Rakshasa looks like you and me, Asura looks like you and me, Deva looks like you and me. There's no difference. The only difference is in behavior and conduct and quality and character. So Danava, one who does not do charity, is a Danava. Rakshasa, one who is rajasic, always attacking and violent. Asura, tamasic, one eats and sits. Asura. Deva, one who is effulgent. When I am love, when Paramacharya, you think of him, he is a Deva. This effulgence is there, Tejas is there. Right? All human body. So nothing over there, everything here. So he says, so they were fighting, this Dhanavas. So Katvanga goes there and fights with them and kills the Dhanavas. That means the evil tendencies in the kingdom got eradicated. That's what it means. Right? So Indra was very happy, Devas were very happy. They said, told Katvanga, oh, we are very happy, please tell us what you want, we'll grant you a boon. And Katvanga says to tell Indra, no, sir, the opportunity to serve you itself, that is enough boon for me. You've given me to serve you, what more do I want? That everybody is waiting to serve Devas only. That's as Bhagavad Gita says. You serve the Devas will serve you in return. Simple. You give more charity in food, automatically more food will come to you. Guaranteed. You hold on everything to yourself, nothing will come to you. Simple rule. These are all facts and truth that we can experience in our daily life. Seriously, the more people you feed, the more food will come to you. Don't worry about, hey, I don't have money, where is it going? No, it will come. Hospitality, important part of our culture. Okay. Now, so they said, and then, that the Devas insisted. No, king, no, we want to give you something. Then he says, he tells Indra, sir, see, you have the ability to see the past, the present, as well as the future. So tell me, how long do I have to live? And Indra says, that's easy. So you have one muhurta, basically, that's all you have left to live. And what did Katvanga do? Immediately gave up everything, sat right there. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. That's it. And in that Muhurta Kalam, he attained Parampara. Sukha Muni was saying, so don't worry, you have 7 days. See, he did this in one Muhurtam. Don't worry, be patient, don't worry. And so give up this feeling of, I-ness, ahamkaram and mamakaram. He started his teaching again, resumed it. And then he said, King, looks like you are not comfortable, like something is bothering you. Say, what, do you have a question? He says, yes, Swami. Yes, you talked about the formless taking a form and all that, but how did that happen? And then Sukha Muni continues. He says, yes, see, the moment the one became 2, multiplied, the Dvitiyam came, the duality came, separation came, the feeling of separation, right? That's what he says. But in all that creation, if one knows how to harmonize the differences, because the differences come, right? Feminine principle, masculine principle, differences are there, it's been created. But if you know how to harmonize that differences, then there's no problem. You are in bliss, you are in joy. But if you don't, then problem comes. Then the avataram comes how to tell you how to harmonize it. In fact, then he begins. He says, a teacher must know the capability of the student before he teaches him. At what level? I can't teach a PhD level to a kindergarten, I can't teach kindergarten to a PhD level. It has to be appropriate. Very important qualification. So, Narayana, Srimad Narayana taught to Brahma, and one day Narada Muni comes to Brahma. He was Manasika Putran. And, Appa, you are the greatest. You do all this creation. What a power that you have. Kanna, not me. There is somebody superior to me. Somebody who has given me this power. I'll tell you what he told me. Then he says, yes. And Bhagavan himself says, yes, I create things. Yes, I create the multiplicity. I'm the one who's immanent in everything. I'm the one who creates night and day. And I'm the one who's activating people, activities. I'm the one who has created the urge to procreate, progeny. It's a natural instinct we all have. Right? But I'm also Satchit Ananda, he says. I am present in each one of us. If you look, Satchit Ananda is there. Aspect of that is there. Mamevamso jivaloke sarvabhuta sanatanaha. That means one aspect of me is there in all the beings in the world. When Bhagavan says that, how can it be false? So, Swami, where is your amsam in me? Other than the love, we'll look at, okay, we can understand that prema. How else is that? Satchit Anandam. So Sat. What is the aspect of Sat in each one of us? None of us wants to die. We all want to be, continue. That is an aspect of Sat. We all have the quest to know. Why is this? How is this happening? This seeking knowledge, quest to know, an aspect of Chit. Anandam. We all seek happiness only. We all seek Anandam only. That's an aspect of Satchit Anandam. The only problem is there is Nama and Rupam. Name and form has come, so we are limiting ourselves. Anyway, going back, says, I am Satchit Ananda in everything I have created. But if each being that I have created, I have given a set of rules. If you follow those rules, no problem. Jolly. Life is beautiful, joyous. If you don't follow those rules, then you will be in trouble. That's basically the message. Now, there are people who have followed the rules I prescribed and have attained me back, overcome this feeling of duality and merged and become one. There are many bhaktas, many people, and then Sukha Muni recites a litany of the bhaktas, which I am not going to do right now. Lots of devotees, he gives names. Many people have done that. And so, this, what I have told you, is concise Bhagavatam, he says. Concise Bhagavatam. This is all the truth. Everything is Bhagavan. Everything, all of us are Bhagavan. There is nothing that is not Bhagavan. He is the one who is activating me. He is the one who is making me. All the karmas, everything, whatever you name, that is Him. That's all the basic truth given in a concise manner. And the rules, the rhythm has been given, you break it, the play goes on. That's all. So when Narada hears this, and so he got taught by Brahma. Then Brahma says, son, you do one thing. Yes, Appa, what should I do? Go around the whole universe, okay, and singing Bhagavan's name, because there is nothing more efficacious, more powerful than Bhagavan's name. Go and do it. Oh, sure. Okay, Appa, I'll go. Then he goes away. Then immediately comes back. Father, I have a doubt, small doubt. Yes, what is it? Yes, while I go around singing Bhagavan's name, what if this Maya comes and gets hold of me? Then Brahma says, fool, when you're singing Bhagavan's name, you think Maya will come? Where there is Bhagavan's name, there is no Maya. Don't worry, go. So, that is the Omkaram we saw yesterday, what Narada is doing right now. And then Sukha Muni explains in a little bit more elaborate manner the concise Bhagavatam. For our sake, I'll share that with you very briefly, and then we'll go to the stories and glories, which is the panacea. Okay, everything else we need to use our intelligence to understand. Doubts will come. Okay, anything you understand, there is always doubt. Anything, everything you understand is always doubt. That's nature of things. Because you can't understand Bhagavan. Knowledge is Bhagavan. How can you understand him? Impossible. You have to put a limit to understand, right? So, but still a duty bound to share this. So, what is the main lesson here? Control of senses. We started our Bhagavatam by saying we must know how to use our senses, the utilization, use of senses, and that is where the training is required, right? That's the first lesson Sukha Muni gives. Why? Senses are externally bound, so they get attracted. What is the, again, simple, very powerful lesson I'll share with you. Question we can answer later. This is from Bhagavad Gita. So where does a desire come from? Have you ever thought about it? What is the origin of desire? Okay, once you accept that mind is a bundle of desires, and then next you accept that, okay, I want to remove the thread and reducing the desires, right? That's what it basically is. The less desire I have, the happier I am. This Indian Railways slogan is very, very, very powerful spiritually. Less luggage, more comfort. No question. Seriously, that is true. I mean, I'm telling you, seriously, that is so true, right? And so less desire. So so next question is, okay, I want to reduce the desire. Now, next, if you ask the question, where does the desire come from? That is where Krishna teaches Arjuna. Matra, he says. The matra means indriyangal. When the indriyangal, when eye looks at something, the ear hears something, the nose smells something, okay, or you taste something, doesn't matter, right? But so let's take a look at, for example, ear as an example, okay, because that's the most powerful indriyam, by the way. I mean, all the 5, ear is the most powerful, and that is why at the time of death they say you still can hear. The hearing ability is the last one to go, right? And that is why you do the Karna Mandram and all, when somebody is lying in coma or whatever, you should never speak anything negative, always positive. And if somebody is dying, you say Rama, Rama, Rama. The ear can hear. So very powerful. So let us take the ear. It is so powerful. What happened? So I'm just minding my business. My mind is elsewhere and all this. And all of a sudden, I'm walking there and something falls on my ear. Let us say, if you're like me, an interesting gossip, let us say. Something falls. Immediately what happens? The ear, it hears it, then it hears a bit more of that. That's where the problem comes. Suppose I hear it and just go, not touched by it, being indifferent to what I hear, indifferent to what I see, no problem. The moment I get interested in that and hear it a little bit more, I get attached to it. The moment you get attached to it, reaction happens. What are the reactions? That's how desire comes. Now, a desire happens there. Then what happens to a desire? Either it gets fulfilled or not fulfilled. If it gets fulfilled, it results in greed, more of it. If it doesn't get fulfilled, it results in anger. Right? And if it is your boss and you want a raise and doesn't get fulfilled, you cannot be angry. We may be angry outside his room, but in front of him, it is fear. Right? Then no need to fear other than Bhagavan. Bhagavan also you don't have to fear. Okay, fear should not be there in life at all. So anyway, so this is how desire begins. That's what Sukha Muni explained. So the Indriyas go there and get entangled in all this. So control it. That's the first lesson from him. Then he asks a question. Then see, the whole world as king is just like a big dream. So many things moving around and it's all big dream. Now being an attentive student, he says, so you're saying that the whole thing is a big dream, but Swami, now in the dream that we have, the dream that we dream when we sleep, whatever we experience, they're all based on some reality. Isn't it? I'm missing a school bus or whatever it is. I mean, everything is based on some reality, or not passing an exam or whatever dreams we have. Doesn't matter. It's based upon some reality, right? Some attachment to reality is there. So, all the dreams that we are seeing, that means that you are saying, or is it the this indweller, the Atma, that Bhagavan who has created all this, that he is also being deluded? What a beautiful question it is. I never thought of it that way. It's a fantastic question. So, the whole thing is a dream. That means dreamer is also deluded. Like the way I am deluded in my dream. That is a question. And Sukha Muni says, no, this Maya, I think he asked second question also. So I'll give you both questions and I'll give the answers the way he gave. His second question is, but see, Maya, the illusion means I can understand if one thing is created, but there is multiple things that's created. So it doesn't make sense to me. Right? And then he says, no, this Maya that's the nature of Maya. It creates multiple things and the Atma, the Parabrahman, is not touched by it. The same way you are not touched in the dreams that you have. It's a very simple explanation that he gives like that. And then we talked about the concise Bhagavatam. Let us skip the Puranas and Upa-Puranas that I wanted to share with you for the sake of time. But I'll tell you what Puranas very briefly and then we'll move on. And then go into some Krishna Kathas before we conclude. And Parikshit asks several questions. This is the problem. I mean, see, when you have, let us say, a big bucket full of kheer, like what Mrs. Dwaraka Iyengar had yesterday, which I wish I could have had more of. It was really very good. So, and she did offer me though. And so if you have, see, how much of it to give and from what part of it to give is the question. That's what I struggled with for a very briefly in my mind when I thought about something in Bhagavatam. But since we all have this quest to know, I will just share a few questions that Parikshit asked. And then move quickly to the kathas, which is very important, okay? You'll be interested in the questions. The first question he asks is, Swami, the experiences of a human being, are they decided by his nature or are they decided by the sum total of all the activities he has done before? First question. Second question. See, you said this Brahma came from the Kamala Nabhi and before to create. When Brahma appeared, did he have hands and face and all that, that as a jiva? Third question. So, what is the connection? Is there a difference between a jiva and Brahma? Fourth question. Fifth question. Says, on what basis, Swami, do you decide the past, the present and the future? Right? Now we are all now wonderstruck. The question seems so simple. Do we know the answers? Right? Listen, how beautiful. That's why maybe prompted me to share that. Okay? What one basis do you decide it is past, present and future? Right. Then is after what are manvantras? That means manus, what does it mean? That is one. On what basis are these various yugas decided? Okay? And what action results in which result? Or which action results in what result? Right? Think. Right? And then the other questions are at least easily understandable. Let's say, what are the various kathas of Avatara kathas? Isanu Charitam is the way he says, right? And then, what are the things we should do to get release, freedom from this Maya? So, those are some of the questions that he asked. Let us move on. And so, while you think about the questions and what the answers could be, let us move on. So, Puranam we will skip. Then, he talks about the various Kamsa avataram. Sukha Muni says, as avataram comes, it is not limited to time and space. There is nothing that says you must appear in this form. And all avatarams are Purna avatarams. Please never make that mistake. We all say Krishna avataram, Purna avataram. No. All avatarams are Purna avataram. Why? Because if you take, the sweetness, whether you take 1 spoon of that payasam or 1 karandiya of the payasam, sweetness is the same. So we should not get fooled by the forms. All avatarams are Purna. But the avataram may not exhibit different, not even sense, amount is not the right word, different aspects of its glory. Okay? In different avatarams. That's all it is. And for what purpose it comes. For a purpose it comes, it fulfills and it goes away. So in that sense, some Kamsa avataram, oh really? Bhagavan came like that? Then please tell me about it. Then he talks about Kapila avataram, Kamsa avataram and number of other things. So let us skip all that. He also talks about Rama avataram. Out of all the avatarams, king, the Rama and Krishna avataram are the most important for us. Why? Can you relate to a fish? Matsya avataram. Can you relate to a Kurma avataram, tortoise? We cannot. But we can relate to another human being. Right? That is why for us, maybe if I go and talk to a tortoise, it may say Kurma avataram is important. I don't know. But for us, the human form, Rama avataram and Krishna avataram are important. So we'll talk about it. Rama avataram very briefly. And because that's the order Sukha Muni describes it. And how was Rama? We all know Ramayana. It's not just to say, Rama was there, son of Dasaratha, married Sita got abducted by Ravana, he went and killed Ravana, brought back, got coronated. No, that's not the story. No, we should not look at Ramayana like that. No, Ramayana Tattvam we must understand. So how was Rama? Rama was Saumyam, is the way Bhagavan described it. So soft and tender. Also Saulabhyam, that's another characteristic. Saumyam, so soft and tender. He's so attractive. And he wore a green dress, a full dress that was green. Leaf green is what he says, color of a green leaf. With a yellow cloth tied around his waist. If you can picture that. How did he walk? He walked with his head down. I've seen Swami do this. It's so charming. And walk with your head down. He never looked at the face of another woman. And he spoke sweetly and lovingly to everyone. So soft. Bhagavan's heart is soft, softer than butter. No question about that. Bhagavan, even though he can be strong, so soft, melt he will. If you just say, talk to him lovingly, he will melt. Now, he spoke very lovingly, and he called women elder to him as Amma. Always. And what about women? Immediately the question comes, what about women of his age and younger? Right? The question came in your mind or not? Tell me honestly. Right? Right? So, and he called them sisters. right? And you all know what he did to demonstrate the power of Satyam, to protect the plighted word of his father. What did he do? He just gave up everything and went to the forest. And what life he led in the forest, can you and I go and walk around the way that Rama did? With the facilities he had, which was nothing, right? And can you imagine those 4 months that he stayed there, waiting for Sugriva to line up his army, when it was the rainy season? Where did Rama stay? What happened? Did he have protection under the rain? He was staying inside a small cave. Incredible, not even this space. How much he suffered. All because to protect the word of his father. If he had said no, you think people would have objected? Like people do today, the whole crowd would have supported him because he was loved by everyone. But no, all because, no, my father has given a word. Even then, the father didn't ask him to go. Father didn't say go to the forest. It's his wife, Kaikeyi, who said that. But he said, no, my mother's word is as good as my father's word. We can go on. And how did he treat the Vanaras? Treat them like monkeys? No. Like his brothers. As close as his own brother Lakshmana. What is his sense of forgiveness? We ask Swami, oh Chamasvatvam, huh? To ask for forgiveness from Swami, what quality, what deservedness do I have? Swami, you do whatever you want. There is no punishment from Bhagavan, there is only corrective actions. So you do whatever you want. So we keep saying all this, Chamasvatvam, and say, forgive everything. No, it doesn't mean anything. Okay, Bhagavan, we must go to his will, not my will, not my request. His intention, his will. When my will joins with Bhagavan's will, how beautiful the life will be. Imagine. So, what did he do? The Vanaras came and the spies were sent. Ravana sent these monkeys as Vanaras, Rakshasas as monkeys, as Vanara spies. They were caught and they were brought to Rama's presence. What did he say? They said, they must be punished. No. They have come here, they have surrendered to me. My duty is to protect. And what happened to those Rakshasas? So-called converted. They are, because when you deal with Bhagavan, you get converted. It is so beautiful. That's how Rama was. So Parikshit says, Swami, this Rama Avataram, even to hear about this is so nectarine. How much more sweet will it be to hear about Krishna? Can you please tell me that? He says. Then Sukha Muni says, yes, Krishna Avataram, that is something else. Something else. He closes his eyes. It was so sweet he was, so charming, so loved, so much full of love. So much full of love, he says. He goes into Samadhi. Sukha Muni goes into Samadhi. Just picturing Krishna's form, goes into Samadhi. There is, the whole face reverberates in effulgence, waves of effulgence, in waves of joy and bliss. And Parikshit and all the other rishis look at him, they are also transported somewhere else. He opens his eyes, says, Krishna, this boy was full of mischief, bundle of mischief. Just one look at him, his look, you look at his eyes, look at his lips, look at his hand, his walk, his gait, his laugh, his smile. Then one look at him, one sambhashan, one word with him, one touch, that transports you somewhere else. He goes in Samadhi again. Then comes out of Samadhi, Then he says, this bundle of mischief, he went to people's house uninvited, as if everything belonged to him. He used to go there, take whatever he wanted, and every place he went, it was like a huge hurricane had just landed there. That's how much damage he used to create. And he used to walk out, take whatever he wanted. Not only did he take what he wanted for him, he took for his friends also. And his friends, how many of them were there? So many friends. Everybody used to take. And anybody who objected to that, they were immediately punished. But his punishment, his activities, his thefts, his robberies were all tinged with sweetness. Why? Because of his prema. So much so, if one day he does not show up, the ladies will be watching through the window, waiting very eagerly. Where is he? Where is he? The elders will be waiting in the veranda. Where is Krishna come? Krishna come. So much attraction he had. Such a child he was. And how he grew up from a small baby and grew up into a small toddler, took his first steps, started crawling, and then took his first steps holding the hand of Nanda. And he was describing beautifully. Then the Kamsa used to send all these Rakshasas to kill him. And these people, they used to come hiding. And the mother, Yasoda, Nanda and everybody else wanted to protect Krishna. No, this little baby cannot go there. So make sure he's protected. But he will make sure that they know where he is. He will go and meet them. Like the way he did with Potana, he said. Just one suck, he not only killed her body but gave her Sayujyam, relieved her of her curse. Parikshit asked about curse and all that. And tell me some stories. He said, what? All the Rakshasas who got killed by Krishna, they were all relieved from their curses. That's what Sukha Muni says. Then one day all of a sudden there was a beautiful, the cart that we have, with full of sweets. Like jalebi, jangri, whatever else that you can think of. Now that was there. So much. So all the kids were there. All the kids, they attracted to sweets. So they all rushed. Now this guy who brought the sweets is a Rakshasa, sent by Kamsa. And so his aim was to forget Krishna and then kill him. So this little Krishna waited for the full day. Right? Let all his friends have their fill of all the sweets and all that. Then evening time he goes there and kills him. Right? Directly he meets him. He doesn't hide from anyone. Where can you hide Bhagavan? Whom can you hide Bhagavan from? As Radha says, very beautifully, you can picture the scene. She is, in her room, in her bedroom, she is lying down on the bed. And then she wants to close the door. Then she says, yes, I can close this door, but can I stop you from coming in? So beautifully, where you're not. That's what. So how can you hide Bhagavan? So like that, many Rakshasas he killed. Small. Those are all stories, so many Rakshasas names are there. And personally, I'm not that attracted to those stories. Yeah, I know Bhagavan can do this. Nothing is a miracle for who can create the earth and all that. Nothing. These are all. But his love is something that attracts me. So let us go there. So as Sukha Muni was describing these, and like all these gopis, and they used to come there because this guy will do a mischief. The moment what we used to do, somebody mischief, immediately you take a stick and then you want to hit him, right, to punish him and all that. So they will come there immediately to punish him. But as they come close and take one look at him, they will be frozen. So much full of love. How can you hit this boy? You tell me. Not possible. And like that it went on. And then he said, no, that Rasa Leela, that thing. He described all this. Parikshit was listening very, very carefully and closely and all this. Then as Sukha Muni was finished that, he was struggling within himself. He couldn't talk, at the same time he could not talk. Sukha Muni observed it. Something is bothering you. Tell me. Now you got to tell me openly, because you don't have much time left. Better to clarify everything. Please forgive me, Swami, if I am saying something that is apacharam. No. But you said these gopis dancing with Krishna in the moonlight. That seems like a sensual dance to me. How is it right? Dancing like that. That gopis, that only shows their moham, attachment. And I thought that you should give up moham in order to go spiritually. But how did this? I don't understand. Is it something that they did that actually was okay? Please, can you explain this to me? Then Sukha Muni says, King, the question you have, just think who you are. You are a Krishna Bhakta. You are devoted to Krishna in your heart, in your hridayam, right even before you are born. You are always yearning to be with Krishna. Wherever you see Krishna. Whatever you want to hear only Krishna stories. And if a person like you gets this doubt, has this question, that's not your fault. It is the fault of the Kali Yuga. He says, think, look at me. You know about me. I am beyond body. I am beyond all this. I have no duality. But if I am attracted to Krishna's story, doesn't that mean something? That's how he begins answering that question. Then he continues and he says, even none other than Uddhava, when he came and saw these gopis, he cried aloud. He said, my next birth, I'd like to be born as a flower bed in this Gokulam. If I can't do that, at least as a blade of grass, I want to be born. He was taken aback by the devotion of gopis. Why? This moon, the Rasa Leela, this Rasa dance as it is known, is what Sukha Muni says. As it is known. That means Vyasa must have said Rasa Leela. That's why it's as it is known. Right? It appears, first sight you can see it's a sensual dance. But is it really that? Is it a sensual exhilaration or a divine communion that is beyond body and mind? Both look the same. But only when you have that no body consciousness, when you're full of love, and imagine when you're immersed in the ocean of love, even though you may have your body and the ocean of love is the ocean of body's form, is it the forms that are together? That immersion, there is no feeling of oneness. Then when he continued like that, immediately Parikshit says, Swami, Uddhava did that. What is that, Swami? I want to know. Please tell me that story. Then Sukha Muni says, Uddhava was very attached to Krishna. He never left the side of Krishna, always with him. Always, not even a minute. He doesn't want to be away. Then Krishna called him one day, Uddhava, will you do something for me? When Bhagavan asks you, what do you think? He said, yes, Swami, please, whatever your will is, whatever your grace is, please go to Gokulam. The gopis are really, they're quite, they are there. I want to go and give them my message. I send a message to you, go and give it to them. Swami, please, I don't want to leave you. Swami, please. No, just one day, just go one day and come back. That's enough. Please go quickly and come back. So he goes. But when he goes there, and when he talks to gopis, he is thinking, I am going there to teach them bhakti and devotion and all that. Because, you're with Bhagavan all the time. So that thing is that, I know. He goes there, and immediately the gopis say, oh, you come from Krishna? Come. And then, what did he say? So he has given this message to you. He says, then one gopi says, I cannot read this because of my tears. I cannot be separated from Krishna, and I cannot read it. And the other gopi says, I don't even want to touch it because my whole body is burning from separation from Krishna. And Uddhava is taken aback. What is this? He's never seen like this. Then they start, so they don't stop. They don't even let Uddhava to speak. Uddhava says, the message, we cannot hear anything. Our mind is focused only on Krishna. We cannot hear anything, please. And then they start talking about how we missed him, how we danced around, how we went in that Govardhana mountain. They started, Uddhava said, Govardhana mountain, please show me that. I also want to see. Come on, I'll show you. Come. This is where we danced. This is where we took a step. This is where we sat down and ate. This is where he was playing the music. And this is where all these cows and cattle and all were there, listening to the music. And so they were showing all this. And when Uddhava went there, he could actually see the footprints of Krishna and the Gopikas there. And when the gopis themselves saw the footprints, they couldn't control themselves anymore. They said, Krishna. They crying out, could not be separated from that feeling. At that time, a most wondrous thing took place. The trees there, they bent, and from the edge of the branches, water drops fell down. And this Govardhanagiri mountain, the rock, that's actually soft on the top, wet and soft. And Uddhava saw this with his own eyes, where the living became lifeless and the lifeless became living. The gopis were turned into a statue. He was wonder-struck at the Sarvam Sajivam. Bhagavan is present in everything, Vishnumayam. Don't take anything to be Jatam. No, it has got Satchit Anandam. Chaitanyam is there. Sajivam. Maybe in different form. The stone is as much Bhagavan as you and I are. This mic is as much Bhagavan as you and I are. Uddhava saw that. Then Sukha Muni says, those people who cannot even understand, let alone appreciate the bhakti, the devotion that made a tree cry, a stone melt, what qualifications do they have to talk about Gopis bhakti and about the Rasa Leela? He said, Swami, what happened there? What happened? Will you please tell me? He says. So, Parikshit, how did this happen? King, for the gopis, everything was Krishnamayam. Manmana Bhakti. Narada says, what is the example of bhakti? Only gopis bhakti. Braja Gopikanam is what he says. Their bhakti is the example. Ordinary people, but were they ordinary? That is the example. Wow! Manmana bhava, mad bhakto, matyaji, mam namaskuru. They, perfection. So they became mame vaishyati, became one with Krishna. That means Everywhere they saw Krishna only. So when they cried out Krishna, the Krishnatvam in the tree, in the stone responded. Because that was also feeling the separation from Krishna. That's what happened. So, let us move on to the next story. There are 3 stories I want to share with you. Is it okay if we exceed the time a little bit? Okay. Next, Parikshit asks, Swami, I heard about this Kaliya Nardanam. Right? What is the mystery behind it? What exactly happened there? Can you please tell me? Says. And Sukha Muni is only very happy. He says, King, what Krishna used to do every morning. I'm sorry, I had 4 stories, not 3. I'm sorry, I forgot. I hope. Okay. So every morning, he used to get up and immediately go to what we call as mitham, the backyard, right? And do his morning ablutions, and then pick up the cattle that he is going to take for grazing that day, and loosen their things, and then take them to the front. And then the cows that he was not going to take with them, he was going to give buckets of water there to make sure, and they are well fed. And those cows were the saddest. Really, those, oh my God, I can't go. And actually, this is so true, so true. See, when we put a garland to Bhagavan, okay, the flower garland we put, or when you go and pick a flower from your garden and to put to Bhagavan, you don't pick all the flowers, right? At least I don't. There's some flowers we leave behind. Now, what about the flowers that we leave behind? How do they feel? Seriously, they actually cry. Because they also want to serve Bhagavan, right? So these cattle were like this. And but Krishna used to pat them and caress them, and then he used to wake up Balaraman. Okay, Balaraman will be sleeping in the central area, wake him up, and then go to the kitchen. Before he goes to the kitchen, he goes to the front door. Now his house was the first in that whole lane, street there. Okay, Nanda's house was the first one. And he used to go there, and then he used to give a call. This is about 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, like that. He used to give a call. All his friends will be all in the other houses. They all be waiting for that. That's an alarm bell. They are waiting for that call. Immediately they will rush up, get up and go there, and they will start getting ready. While that was going on, Krishna will go into the kitchen and take that parade, the rice from the previous day, and put some beautiful curd and all that, nicely mix it, and take a pickle and make a packet of it, and he'll be ready. Then he'll come to the front, and with all the cattle and all the other friends and Balaraman, everybody will join, and then the procession will start. Right? Kanam pindu selvom. That would be Karavegal pindu, right? That comes there. Now I'm going to skip that story, but I'm going to this Kaliya Nardanam story now, okay? Now, this is what he used to do every day. So that particular day, what happened, he got up as usual and went and did this, but he did not go to the cattle shed. He did not wake up Balarama. He just came out and went directly to the Yamuna river. And in the Yamuna river, there is one particular spot, okay, that is kind of a circular area in that whole river, that was always bubbling like this. Everywhere else the water was nice, sattvic, nicely flowing. But this area, it was bubbling like this. You can see bubbles. And not only bubbles, but on top of that, there's always a brown cloud. So, and the whole group of people, the town, everybody, all the elders know that thing should be avoided. Okay, and by chance, some bird flies over there, it will immediately fall down dead. So when it happens like that, what will you do? Tell your children, well, don't go there, don't go there. No, everybody will avoid. Not only your children, you also will not go there. Nobody went to that part of the Yamuna river. That day, Krishna went directly to that spot. But his friends, even though he didn't wake them up, but the time had come, so they probably woke up. They also said, Krishna, don't go there. They followed, they ran after him. No, don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. No, your mama said you should not go. Mother said, don't go. So don't go there, that's dangerous. But he was not hearing. He was almost like, his mind is fixed on something. So stubborn. God is the most stubborn, by the way. I'm telling you. You can't, God, it's very difficult to change. Only a devotee can do that. Now, so he went there that day. And then, while his friends are all shouting, he went on top of that tree and he jumped right into the center of that pool. He vanished. And all the friends were all waiting on the shore, waiting for Krishna. No, he didn't show up. Maybe half an hour went or whatever. And then, after what look, they were really crying loud, and some of them ran back to the village and told their mothers and fathers, and immediately all the elders all came there with their sticks, and Balaraman came. Everybody came rushing there. Within a trice, the whole village was gathered there. And then all of a sudden Krishna comes up from that pool and he was swimming. And the swim was not an ordinary swim. It was swimming so powerfully, there were huge waves were being created on that water. How much power he must have exerted. Huge waves were being created with his strokes. They were wonderstruck. And then they were amazed at what they saw next. Because behind the waves, there was a huge snake that was so ferocious, and that was following him, and it had his eye on Krishna, and it was also following him among the waves, and it was bearing him, closing in on him. But Krishna was least bit concerned. He went around in a circle and enjoying himself very nicely. And here, the mother was naturally terror-struck. They were shouting, Krishna, come to the shore, quickly, quickly. But he was not. He didn't show that he heard them. Okay? Merely he was going around and round and round, and the snake was gaining on him. And some of the women folks started praying to Krishna himself to say, please save my Krishna, save my Krishna. Very interesting how the irony is. Praying to God to save himself. That's what they did. And Balarama was the only one who assuaged them, who told them, no, don't worry, no harm will come to Krishna. But who listens, right? Everybody naturally are wonderstruck, the terror struck there. So he told Krishna, finish your job and come. That's the only thing is. And in the meantime, an amazing, terror-striking thing happened. All of a sudden, the snake that was closing in on Krishna actually had reached him and started coiling around him. Small baby, small boy, less than 5 years old. Okay? The huge snake has started coiling itself and tightening. And some people actually swooned down on the shore. Some women swooned down. The friends didn't know what to do. And some of them were trying to distract the snake, making some noise here and all that. So many things were going on. And then the most wondrous thing took place, which is Krishna started growing in size, becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. Immediately everybody started this. What a sight this is. So when you become bigger and bigger, the coil started loosening up. And very soon, the snake had to leave him because he became so big. So all the coils were loosened up and went. But because it got defeated, it became even more ferocious. It was emitting poison. And eyes were sparkling. So ferocious it was. And the moment it got loosened up, it still didn't leave the chase. As it chased around, Krishna turned and grabbed its tail. Grabbed its tail with one hand and jumped on its head. And then he walked, ran, whatever, we call it dance, okay? Dance comes later. After this, dance comes. Then quickly like this, and with one hand holding the tail, then he started his dance. But every head, it had 5 heads, this serpent had 5 heads. Each head, he was dancing like this. And even though it was a baby, such a soft foot it has, it was so powerful, the snake was emitting poison. And so much painful it was for it. It was crying. So much pain. Every step he takes, it was like a big hammer stroke. Like that it was. It was paining. It was crying. And that's a scene that everybody saw. And then the ego, the pride of this Kalinga was eliminated, was quelled. His wife, he had several wives, the other snakes, they came from under the water. They prayed to Krishna, please protect our husband, don't kill him. Please save him. Then he told Kalinga, from now onwards, don't hurt anybody. Don't harm anyone except to protect yourself. So you got self-protection is important. And not only that, because my feet have touched your head, even Garuda cannot harm you. So that's the story of Kaliya Nardanam. We will skip one story and go to the last stories I had in mind, okay, because for sake of time. Now, one day what happened, early morning, Brahma Muhurtam, Yasoda gets up and finishes her morning ablutions, comes to the kitchen. And then she takes the milk and starts making curd out of it with a rod, right? And while she was doing that, as I see many people do, she was also singing songs beautifully. Pictures the scene, so serene, Brahma Muhurtam time, so calm and peaceful. And here she is singing all these beautiful tunes and thinking about Krishna and all that. At that time, this little baby Krishna gets up and crawls and comes to her lap. And immediately what will she do? Come on, oh Kanna, Vama Kanna. She says, come as a mother would do, takes it, puts it on her lap and pets it and then tries to do the... But the baby does not let her do it. It cries. It basically says, without in words, as every child does, right? Said, I'm hungry. So it starts crying. So the mother says, oh, you're hungry? You're hungry? So she stops the churning and starts feeding her. And while she is feeding her, she was caressing its head very nicely, like mothers does, beautifully. What a great fortune. Even Devas are envious of the fortune blessing that Yasoda had. Okay, so very beautifully she was doing that. And at that time, while the baby was drinking its milk, there was this is in the outer part of the kitchen. There's a kitchen and then there's another room there next to it. And from the kitchen side, there was a noise that came. Some cat or something must have come and pushed some pot or something like that, vessel or something. So naturally, that's what you think. So but normal reaction of Yasoda, she wanted to know what it was, what it came noise. So she pushes the child out of her lap, gets up to see what it is, and goes. Now, which child wants to be disrupted when it is feeding on its milk? You tell me. Happily, no child would do that till its hunger is fulfilled, right? So, naturally, now Krishna, this little baby, is upset, quite upset, that its feeding got stopped, interrupted like this. So what does it do? It looks in front, there was the stick, right, that used for churning, and there was a pot full of curd. So it takes that stick and hits the pot. Now, after it hits the pot, how will a child think? Now I've done something, right? So you don't want to be caught, right? So it goes away. So it hits it and breaks the pot open with curd all over the place, and it is gone. And when it goes away, it doesn't go away just normally, with all the curd footprints on. So this is why even in Krishna Jayanti today we do that little column, okay? And why? Because we show the footprints coming into our puja room. Significance is, where does Krishna go? From after breaking this and going out, he comes to your house, okay? And so that's what he does. In the meantime, Yasoda goes there and finds that the parts of she takes it and comes back to continue to feed Krishna, and the baby is not there. The whole thing is a big mess, right? Or broken pot and this, and then you see food. So naturally, she sees, the boy has gone out, so she can see that. So early morning, which mother would be happy that the child has gone out? So you have to find where the Bobby is, right? Very important. You cannot just say, you'll come home, whenever you can. No. So she goes searching for him. Where did he go? So she goes, the Brahma Muhurtan time, 4:30 in the morning, goes out. People get up early those days. So he goes there, house by house. So Krishna come, no, he didn't come here, and all that. Finally, in the last house where she goes, inside, there she sees Krishna. She catches him red-handed. What is he doing there? The same picture we are all seen, all of us. He's standing on top of one pot, and there is not because of other animals and all that. To keep it away from Krishna, all the gopis used to hang it from the ceiling. And why was there so much butter and milk? These are the rishis. The third time, so 3 generations, 3 births, to finally, because the rishis who came in Ramayanam, they wanted to be embraced by Rama. They wanted to they wanted not like a student teacher, they want like a Sakyam, go and embrace, play with him like a good friend. That thing they wanted. So Bhagavan granted them. They are the ones who were born as gopis and gopikas, not ordinary, uneducated people. The most educated people they were. So, and because, not only them, the cows were also that. They wanted to be born. Now, the cows give so much milk out of love, cannot be wasted. Butter cannot be wasted. That's the reason Bhagavan took everything to himself. See? Makkana Chora, or whatever we call butter thief, That's why it came. So, but these gopis used to hang it. So here this boy was standing there and kind of, extending himself to get that. Right? At that time, Yasoda walks in. Now this mother, imagine yourself to be Yasoda. Okay? Now you've been receiving complaints every day, morning and night, from all your friends, all your circle of friends, and all the complaints are, your boy came and stole this, he came and took this, no. And you don't believe it. No, my boy, he's such a good boy, he's not. So you never believe all this. No. But every day you've been getting this complaint incessantly, and now you catch him red-handed. You thief, all the things I've been hearing about you are true. I caught you red-handed, now come here. I've got to put you straight. She goes after him. So what will a child do? When a mother comes, you think it's going to go and allow itself to stay in a corner? It runs. It runs. Now you got to picture this scene in that early morning on that street of Gokula. It's beautiful when you picture it. So nice it is. Early, like sun has not come up yet, right? But it's kind of a bright kind of a thing. And here is from the corner house. Now her house is somewhere here in this corner, number 1 house. Now you're talking about the corner here. From there, this boy runs. And so mother chases her. Okay, come on, I'll catch you and all this thing. And which mother can really get hold of a son running, honestly speaking? Babies can run so fast, right? Now, Yasoda also happened to be, as Swami says, a little bit on the plump side. Okay? So, not only she could not run fast, she also was gasping for breath and all very soon. So now Bhagavan, Bhagavan's Karuna does not mean only he has to remove all major problems. He can also remove minor problems too, right? So he realizes, mother is out of breath. So he allows himself to be caught. And then she grabs him and brings him to the house. And there was a big mortar, for which we used to do all the grinding and all that, a big stone thing, right? Huge, heavy. Stay here. I'll come right now. Most sadhu, we say, even this guy will do anything. He's so innocent, waiting for punishment is waiting there. So she comes from inside and brings a rope to tie him to that. Because she has to continue her morning cooking and all the work she has got to do. So she comes, I'm going to keep here, come on, I'll take care of you later. No, she ties it. And then the rope comes, and right there, just it ends. It doesn't go fully. So she goes inside and gets another rope and ties it. And makes it a little bit longer rope and ties it around his waist. And still the same amount of gap is there. So this goes on for some time. So that is why he's called Damodara, Dama Udara. That means the rope and the waist. So Damodara, the name came at that point. Right? So in Govinda, the name came, Indra gave that name at the time of Govardhanagiri. Right? So this name Damodara came at that point. So then she ties him, stay here. And she goes into the kitchen to do her work. Now, imagine which child will stay bound. Any ordinary child you take and tie him to a thing, you think it's going to stay quiet? It'll cry, it'll make all kinds of noise and mischief, it'll try to wriggle out and come out. That's a normal reaction. So Krishna is no different. So only thing is, he didn't have to wriggle out. So like that he wanted to extend, the whole mortar started moving. So that's very simple, small, tough, like this, the mortar. So the baby started crawling. And with the mortar behind him, the thing goes on. So he goes there and he goes to the backyard, right? Very, very easily, nothing, not a big deal. Very easy to the backyard, and in the backyard, they had lots of trees. And there was one particular set of trees that were formed in a way where it was like a V, right? It was like two trees, but they kind of an angle and they come like this. So the child, what does it do? It pulling the mortar in, it crawls in that V gap and then goes to the other side. Now the mortar is stuck, right? It cannot go through. So what is the natural reaction? To pull it. So that's what the child does. As soon as it's stuck, it's up like this. The tree falls. Both the trees fall. Does the tree fall silently? It's very noisy, isn't it? The tree fall, especially true trees falling. Huge noise immediately. All of a sudden in the morning, it's about 5 o'clock or whatever, and Yasoda, the kitchen, big noise, like a bugam, like a earthquake. Immediately she comes rushing out. What has happened? And everybody, not only she, everybody comes. Such a big noise. All of a sudden, they come and here they see these two trees fallen down with all the leaves and everything there, and they see Krishna's head there on that side, little baby. Oh, immediately she rushes. Oh, Kanna, anything happened to you? Are you okay? Are you okay? Like the way we all say, immediately picks him up. Oh, God, did I hurt you? I shouldn't have done that and all this thing, Oh, are you okay? Are you? At that time, from the place the two trees fell, there were two angels, light forms, effulgent forms that came up. They came and did namaskaram to Krishna. They came, and Yasoda was seeing this with her own eyes. They said, Swami, we are Kubera's son. Nalakubera and Manigriva are our names. Due to a curse we were sent here. We were also told that due to your grace we will be released from our curse. Now please permit us to go back to our home. Then they disappeared. Here Yasoda sees this with her eyes. Next second, she picks up the child and says, oh, are you hurt? Is everything all right with you? And Sukha Muni describes this. He says, King, Do you see the effect of Maya there? See how, Swami, where does Maya come from? He says. Next question. Parikshit is so alert, like Arjuna was. Questions to and fro, beautifully it is. And he said, no, Maya comes from attachment. She saw with her own eyes a divine vision granted to her by Bhagavan. Not only the first time, she also saw the whole world in her, called the Viswarupam. But in spite of that, she thinks it is her child. Her child. That's where the problem is. That's what Sukha Muni was described. And he says, then he describes beautifully where the mind thinks it is the body. The mind thinks it is the body. Then the Maya comes. The moment the mind stops thinking it is the body, Maya goes away. Then Sukha Muni says, Swami, my gratitude to you. I am so grateful. Because of your grace and teaching, Maya has left me. That means what? At that moment, with Sukha Muni's grace and Bhagavan's grace, so Parikshit's mind stopped his association thinking that it was the body. All along he said, what do I have to do? What must I do? That moment, that thing went away. Then it was evening time. So I had to do the evening rituals. All the rishis, it was so beautiful, that scenery. When that scene, not scenery, scene, when Parikshit said, thanks to you, Maya has left me. Then rishis, everybody is hearing this. Absolute silence. They all get up with their kamandalam to go to the river and do the evening Sandhya Vandanam and all that. And they were talking among themselves. Today, the king has left his mind. Amanaska. Amanaska. Most important stage before becoming one with Bhagavan. The handkerchief that we talked about, how will it be if all the threads are removed? That's what Parikshit was at that moment. Then he asks Sukha Muni, Swami, I am very interested. What is it that caused so much krodham, hatred of Kamsa towards Krishna? Why? What is it that caused it? I am interested to know that. And also I want to know the births of Krishna and Kamsa. He says, can you please tell me that? And then Sukha Muni said, most apt, most important thing I will tell you. There was in the Yadava dynasty a king called Ahuka, and he had two sons, Devaka and Ugrasena. Devaka had 7 daughters. Ugrasena had 9 sons. Devaka's first daughter is Devaki. Ugrasena's first son's name was Kamsa. These two play important roles in our story, he said. What happened? In that Mathura, there are also sub-rulers. And one of the sub-rulers was Surasena. And Surasena had, I hope I have not got the numbers mixed up, but 10 sons and 5 daughters. And the first son was Vasudeva. And the first daughter is Kunti. And they all lived as neighbors, played together, grew up together. And Kamsa, because he did not have a sister of his own, he was very much attached to Devaki. So much attached. But he would give up his own life like that. He was like that, he was. So much attached to him. So they grew up, and then the time for marriage came where Devaki was married to Vasudeva. And Kamsa took charge of the whole marriage. He was a prince. And he made sure it was done in the most grand scale. And phenomenally he took care of that. And then the third day after the marriage was done, Graha Pravesam was there. You take the bride, she's no longer the bride, she's the wife of the daughter-in-law. You have to take her to the in-laws' house. So Devaki was to be taken to Vasudeva's house. And that was a big event. So Kamsa arranged it such a way, big chariot and beautifully decorated music and bugles and there were decorations all on the streets. Picture that, how beautiful it is, right? People dancing and such a festive occasion it was. And he decided that he himself will drive that chariot because it's my sister. So close he was, so close. And somebody was asking about good and bad. So I'll just digress for a second. There is nothing good or bad in this world. So good and bad, what is good now can become bad later. What is bad today can become good. It's all time is a puller there that changes things seriously. So coming back, so as he was driving and music and all that, all of a sudden there was a thunderous sound from the sky, like as if the whole sky is breaking open, exploding kind of a sound. When that sound comes, what happens? Immediately all of us will react. Everything became silent. The bugle music stopped, the dancing stopped, and everything was wonderstruck. Everybody stopped. Then there was a voice that resonated from the sky. And it said, Kamsa, you fool, you are celebrating the marriage of your sister so happily. You don't realize that her 8th child born to your sister will be the cause of your death. That's all it said. Went away. Silence. And what do you do? Kamsa was wonderstruck, was thunderstruck. One part of him was pulling him towards his sister. I thought, my sister. So you love somebody so much for so long. But the self-survival, my life, I am going to be killed. Who would be prepared to give your life for somebody else? When you are threatened, that took over. So confusion in his mind. What should I do? One part of it is fear. I'm going to die. I'm going to be killed. So this was going on. And then his intrinsic nature took over. And he turned around and grabbed Devaki from that back seat. And he grabbed her by her hair, by long hair, grabbed her like that. So she stood up. While he was doing that, in the other hand, he took the sword from this side. Both simultaneously. And then went like this to chop her off. Because he thought, all the internal thinking he was going through, the trouble he had between love and fear, because all our love is selfish love. Okay? That's what it shows. And that fear, his buddhi, his intellect, not buddhi, but intelligence told him, hey, listen, very simple. His 8th child is going to kill you. But suppose if she herself is no more, then how can she have a child? That's all the simple equation he did. So he said, I'm going to eliminate her, kill her. That's what made him do this. Once he did that, Vasudeva sprang up and held his hand. This hand like this. Wait, brother-in-law, wait. What you are going to do is barbarous. Nobody will approve of this. Wait. I am also as much for your welfare as Devaki is, as all of us are. We all care for you. We all care for your life. So don't be afraid. Don't have fear on that score. But if that is not enough for you, I will make a promise to you. And it said, the 8th child will the one that will kill you, right? I will tell you, I will give you a promise. Every child that born to us, I will bring to you. You take care of it. Now, when my offer to you like this is their outstanding offer, and if you don't accept it, and if you still want to go ahead and execute what you want, the wilderness act you want to do, nobody will forgive you. Now, Kamsa thought, yes, what he says, correct, makes sense. Now, my fear also, there is a strategy to protect it. Then said, let it go. Keep your word. Mind you. He got down and he went away. Then, after 1 year, Devaki, for some reason I was thinking Kunti. Devaki delivers the first child. And now the question. Small baby just born in the delivery room. You all, lots of mothers here. What is the feeling you have at that time? We men don't know. We can only imagine. Because you guys have experienced it. It's so fortunate. And so at that time, what to do? Mother is holding the baby like this. Vasudeva thinks, oh, I have given my word. I must protect it. So he takes the baby and she doesn't want to let go. But he strongly pulls it away. From newborn baby, not even 1 month or 1 day old, newborn, takes it to Kamsa. Brother-in-law, as I promised. And then, maybe because Kamsa looked at that baby, maybe because whatever happened, Bhagavan's design, he said, very good, you have kept your word. I like it. When somebody keeps their word, immediately you get some trust. Right? So he says, it's only the 8th baby that is going to be the cause of my death. This is only the first one. So take it back. It's not going to do any harm to me. So Vasudeva brings the baby back. And imagine the happiness and ecstasy of mother when she gets her child back. So they were living like this. 6 years go by. 6 babies are born. And each time Vasudeva used to take the baby to Kamsa as it promised, and Kamsa used to return it. No, it's only the 8th one. Go. At that time, Narada comes there to Kamsa's palace. Now, Narada does not mean, as contrary to what we think, he does all the mischief and kalakam and all that. No. All the activities that Narada did were always for the benefit of mankind. And he comes there and he asks Kamsa, how are you? Is everything fine? And all this. And then he says, Kamsa, so what is happening with those children? He said some 8th child is going to Sasari. Yes, there are 6 children born now, so I'm waiting for the 8th one. You fool. How do you know that is the 8th one? Yes, that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 have been counted, 7, and then I'm waiting for the 8th one. You fool, listen. Give me that rose flower that you have. So he takes a rose flower. See the petals here? Yes. Now I'll start counting. Watch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? Yes. Now watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It depends on where you start the counting. Now, Kamsa is really troubled. My God. So the 8 shells are already born? Where do you count? How do you start the counting? So now he is on top of that, to put fuel to that fire of anxiety or fear. Narada says, hey, in last Janmam, you were born as Kalanemi. So this time, Krishna is going to take birth, mainly to eliminate people like you. And he goes back. So Kamsa now immediately sends word. Immediately sends a word. Bring that Vasudeva here. Right, immediately. So Vasudeva comes. Rushes in. Yes, sir. How many children here? I have 6. I have 6 now, as I told you. Bring all the 6 tomorrow. Morning, I want to see them here. What will Vasudeva do? He goes and conveys the news to Devaki. Imagine that night, what they would have gone through. Beyond our ability to imagine. So much misery they went through. Next morning, he brings the 6 children. Sukha Muni says, King, for the sake of protecting one life, you see how many atrocities are taking place? That is true even today. Even today it is true. We call it politics or whatever. It is true even today, to protect one life. So what Kamsa did is nothing not out of the ordinary. So many people do. Sukha Muni says, then he gives the truth behind it. Then, because what is going to happen, and when Parikshit hears this, he will be, next Sukha Muni is going to say something. But he is preparing and protecting Parikshit from the news that's going to come to him. That's why he's giving all this explanation at this stage. He says, we don't know. We see only what our eyes. We don't know what happened before that. We don't know what happened after the end. We see only the middle. And we see an event and we see a result and we think that the event is related to the result. We really don't know. And then he gives examples to pacify our mind. Look at snakes. A snake, mother snake, delivers several baby snakes. As soon as it is delivered, it actually eats a few of them. Which ones gets eaten? A small fish is eaten by a big fish. A big fish is eaten by a bigger fish. These are all his design, he says. Don't try to understand it. Don't try to explain it. Bhagavan designed, just have faith, because he sees before as well as after. A child dying young could mean different things. Maybe a karma palan that it is going through, or maybe karma palan one way, it could be so much punyam that it just comes there and goes in order to reach Paramapadam. Who knows? We don't know, only he knows. That's the explanation he gives. Then Kamsa, next day he does the most atrocious thing, which I will not describe. And then, not only that, then the 7th pregnancy comes. Now, as Bhagavan will have it, that gets aborted part of the way. Now the question, Vasudeva, the pregnancy got aborted. Should I report it to Vasudeva? The promise was, the child is born, I will give the child to you. But an abortion, how would you handle this situation? So they decide not to report to Vasudeva. Now, Vasudeva hears about this. I'm sorry, Kamsa, sorry, excuse me. Kamsa, thank you. Kamsa. My apologies. So Kamsa hears about this. And what now, when you hear, put yourself in Kamsa's shoes. And what will you immediately think? All the trust you had built, gone. This guy is trying to play a game on me, that's what you will think. How can I trust him anymore? He didn't report. Immediately he sends words and puts them in prison. Puts both Devaki and Vasudeva in prison. Both put them in prison straight away. What will you do? Now, not only that, now this is Manmana Bhava, Mat Bhakto. Now Kamsa was doing Manmana Bhava all the time, only thinking about Krishna. Oh my God, when is he going to come? He's going to come. When is he? Where is he? Where is he? Is he this here? So his thought 24 hours, 7 days, only about Krishna, out of fear, not Mat Bhakto. Okay, that is why he was killed and by Bhagavan himself. But that's not the thing Bhagavan wants us to do. But you need both in order to have Bhagavan's Leela. Only he knows what his design is. But because of his fear that I had to protect myself, and now this has all of a sudden something has gone out of the plan, right? So becomes even more nervous. And he puts his own father in prison, Ugrasena in prison, and goes and starts conquering other lands. When he knew his last time was approaching, then Parikshit was asked the question, Swami, how is it possible when somebody knows that his last moment is nearing, will take such a cruel activity, putting his own father in prison and going and attacking other countries? And Sukha Muni says, King, not everybody will think like you. See, when you knew that your last moment has come, you wanted to spend that time thinking on the company of Bhagavan. That is called Daivik Sampat. And the other thing is called Asurik Sampat. And people with Daivik Sampat, is everything all right there? Okay. Okay. So, people with Daivik Sampat, when they are in their last days, they will want to do only good things. They want to only hear about Bhagavan. That's the way they will lead their life. Whereas people who are very selfish, he uses the word selfish, not mine. This is Bhagavan's word. Selfishness is Asurik Sampat. Please remember that. So, who are very selfish and egoistic, they will spend their life in the last time only in the egoistic, selfish activities. And Parikshit says, Swami, few minutes I have left, please tell me more about Krishna. I'm not interested in hearing about all the gunas and all that. Please tell me what is best. So he pushes that way. Then Sukha Muni continues. He says the 7th pregnancy that was aborted was Bhagavan's design. Bhagavan actually, as the story goes, he employed Maya, delusion as he calls it, which means he transferred the pregnancy from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Rohini was another wife of Vasudeva, and she was living in Gokulam near Nanda and with Yasoda. And because that baby was born 1 year before, Krishna was born, and that boy in its birth itself, he looked very strong and charming and very balam, but so he was called Balarama. Very attractive also, right? So Balarama, that name given. Another name for Balarama is Sankashana. Sankashana means attracted to. Because he was attracted from one womb to another, the name has come. Sankashana. So next time you know how the name came about. So, in the meantime, in the prison, because if you put yourself in their shoes, you can experience it. Children are gone, put in prison jail. Here is a king, a ferocious king who's out to get you. Not to get you, but get your child. So, Devaki and Vasudeva are become like skeletons. Absolutely drained out. No energy, weak, didn't want to live. They said, we have to live as long as Bhagavan wants us to live. There is no escape. So they were so much down. Then the 8th pregnancy came. all of a sudden there was a change. The skeleton body of Devaki started rounding up. And Vasudeva, there was effulgence. As the pregnancy grew, in that little prison cell, they saw a live, beautiful effulgence that you can't explain. There were divine music that you could hear, dance music, bells, different types of music, and there was inexplicable, attractive perfume, smell in that room. All these changes were taking place that your five senses can cognize. That's the way Bhagavan tells us. His presence is so that we can cognize Him. And so they knew this was happening, first-hand experience. Now they were even more afraid. Because if Krishna comes to know about this, he might even come and whack into Devaki's womb and kill the child in the womb itself. Possible. Who knows what he will do. So they had to keep this quiet. And silently they were praying. Now 9th month had come. Kamsa is counting. So what did he do? Immediately he doubled up the number of gods and put heavy doors. And he told the gods to come and report to me. Hey, listen, keep them under your watch. Not a single minute should go without you observing them. And report to me, whatever, every 5 minutes, half an hour, whatever. That's how tight. And not only that, he put chains on Devaki and Vasudeva's legs as well as hands. So that they could not escape. So that he could catch that child when it is born. That was his idea. But who can go against Bhagavan's plan? Only fools will think, I can. Right? Bhagavan has a design. So, this was what's happening inside that cell. Then one morning, fine morning, beautiful morning, about 3:30 or so, Devaki started getting labor pains. Imagine, she was shackled. Hands like this, legs chained, Vasudeva chained there. And she was lying on the floor. And she was turning like this. There was one small lamp that was burning. The flicker of a lamp. And the labor pains had come, so she was looking at the lamp and she was thinking, what is going to happen to me? And what is going to happen to my child? At that moment, the flame blew off, went out. Pitch darkness. When a flame goes out, darkness is even more. Right? Pitch darkness in the cell. She was, 1 second before she could react, she saw some kind of an effulgence in her room. And she became afraid. She thought this could be Kamsa coming in some form or sending someone. So she was about to call Vasudeva for his help. All these were happening so quickly, okay, even quicker than I'm saying it. But before that, before even she could call Vasudeva, that effulgence shook its form and a shape. And what was that form? It had Sankha and Chakram. It was wearing Pidambara. Prasanna Vadanam. And beautiful crown on its head. And its hand was like this, Abhayahastam. And it said, I am Narayana. Do not worry. In response to your prayers that you had made in your previous birth, I am going to take birth in you. I am going to be born as your son. there is no one born or yet to be born in the 14 worlds who can do any harm to me. Do not worry. Just watch the miracles that are going to take place. Now, for some reason, because of your affection to me as your son, if you get worried because of Maya, then instantly you will see some more miracles. Then, so here Vasudeva and Devaki were listening to this. Then it continued. Once I am born to you, immediately all the shackles and the chains will be loosened up. The doors of the prison will all open. The gods, everybody will go into Yoga Maya, will sleep, fall into sleep. Take me from here to Gokul. There, at the same time, Yasoda is giving birth to a baby. Put me there and bring that baby here. Till then, nobody will know. All the gods, everybody will be asleep. Said that before, as they were listening in, they were digesting it, instantly the form became an orb of light and entered Devaki's womb, and that instant the baby was born. And when the baby was born, even though it was only Brahma Muhurtam, the birds were out there, cuckoo was nicely singing, birds were chirping outside. And here Vasudeva looks at the baby that's born and he couldn't believe. He couldn't believe his eyes because there was a halo around that baby's face. While he was immersed and amazed at that, another amazing thing took place. He couldn't believe that also. What is happening? He thought. The baby was talking to him. It said, don't delay. Take me to Gokul. Immediately, Vasudeva went there, took a mat, small, like a thing, small basket kind of a thing, took his dhoti there, his torn dhoti that he had, basically, put it there, put the baby in that basket and tore open Devaki's sari, put it as a blanket and took that. As soon as he did this, took the basket on his head like this. The doors opened, but all the gods, everybody had fallen down, already in sleep. And they went. Came out. It was supposed to be a moonless night. The full moon was there. And the moonlight was shining only on this little basket on which the child was, because the Chandran also wanted to have the darshan of Bhagavan who has come. And sunlight was not there, but all the lotuses were blooming. And all the stalks were towards the baby. And there was shower of rain that came. And Vasudeva was worried, the baby is going to get wet. But he looked behind, there was Adisesha walking there with his hood as an umbrella. Miracles. Vasudeva went, hurried, without stopping, went to the Gokul. There, he put the baby there, brought the other baby back to the prison and kept it by the side of Devaki. Then he could not stop weeping. When Sukha Muni was said this, Krishna, 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 the sound came. Everybody looked. They saw a snake going away after biting the right toe of Parikshit. And Parikshit fell down. Krishna, Krishna, fell down. And Sukha Muni said, the king has reached Gopala. All the rishis, the Vedic priests, they started reciting Vedams. People who were doing bhajans did bhajans. Some people went into dhyanam. The whole place was Krishnamayam. Sukha Muni made arrangements for the last rites of the body. And then he went away unnoticed.
Front door.
Yes, Sukha means parrot. Yes, he was the parrot that plucked the fruit of Krishna Rasa from the tree of Bhagavata and gave it to us so all the humanity can benefit. May all humanity be in Nanda Nandana. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Samasta lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta lokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.